Hey Husker fans, Sam McKewon with the Omaha World-Herald and Husker Extra. This is our recruiting update for mid-June for the Husker defense. Okay, so they're at 14 commits as it stands right now, and they have done a ton of work on the defensive side of the ball, especially at defensive back. A bunch of commits right in a row at that particular position, and they may have more coming. Let's start with this. Braylon Prude committed on Sunday. He was a guy that took an official visit. He's from the Houston area. Got an offer at Houston Christian University camp that Nebraska was at. Visited Nebraska, 6'5", 190 pounds, big frame. Probably could move down to a linebacker spot. When somebody's that tall, 6'4", 6'5", you're just going to let him kind of build into it, and he'll probably grow into his frame here in the next couple of years. And Nebraska will decide. Good athlete, rangy guy, plays for a good school near the Houston area. So I think that was a logical pickup. He didn't have a ton of offers. But again, there's so many prospects in that area that you don't always know who you're going to watch and who you're going to pick up. So I think Braylon Prude was a pickup on Sunday. Callan Barta is from Topeka, Kansas. I do not recall Nebraska getting a commit from Topeka, Kansas. They've gotten commits from Kansas before, but I don't remember a lot from Topeka. And Callan Barta did not have a ton of offers before Nebraska offered him. He had an offer to Missouri Southern, and he was looking at NAIA schools like Emporia State, where his brother plays. Barta is 6'2", 180. They like him at corner. He says they like him at corner, and if he's fast enough to play that position, I like a lot about him too. Very rangy guy, kind of tall. I don't think he's going to build into a linebacker. I think he could be a safety, perhaps. But I like Barta. He tested really well at the Under Armour camp 3 weeks ago in Kansas City. Impressed people there, but I think he kind of got waitlisted by some of the local schools like Kansas and Kansas State that wanted to kind of work through the rest of their board first. Nebraska was ready to go, and they gave him an offer. They got him up for a camp. They offered him at the camp. Then he goes on an official visit. He picks Nebraska. It's that fast. Boom. I do think this is a kid that'll end up with a better rating than he has right now, and in some recruiting services, he doesn't have a rating at all. Okay, third one was Evan Taylor out of Waxhaw, which is near Charlotte. Cuthbertson High School, 6'3", 180. He says Nebraska wants him at corner too. I wonder. He does look like a guy that may be able to play safety. He carries a lot. He's built. He's got a good frame. He's a little bit more built than Barta, and he's a little bit different player. Very handsy and physical. He said Nebraska liked his tape. Again, they invited him up for an official visit. He takes the visit. He commits. Nebraska has done this a lot with a number of players here in recent weeks, where they are willing to take a chance on a guy that maybe other schools aren't willing to because they trust their evaluation. And I think they also believe in this notion of they want to get guys at Nebraska who want to be at Nebraska, who maybe feel a loyalty to Nebraska that they wouldn't have otherwise felt because they had so many other offers, and they feel like they're doing Nebraska a favor. In this particular case, Nebraska's not doing these kids a favor, but Nebraska's their best offer. And so I think there's probably going to be a sense of loyalty to the Huskers and a willingness to work for what they get, because a lot of other schools just didn't come through with offers. So I think that's probably true in Taylor's case as well. Okay, this weekend, one more thing on the other list. Carlin Jones put Nebraska in his top 6. I think Nebraska's probably closer to his top 3, but we'll see. Defensive linemen are hard to recruit because pretty much everybody wants them. Jones is a good player. We'll see what he's able to do. He's from the same area of the country as Bryce Turner, Bay City, Texas, and so we will see. We'll see what Jones decides to do. But he's just cut it down to 6 at this point. Okay, this weekend, interesting visit weekend for Nebraska. A couple more names to watch. First of all, Donovan Jones already took his official visit. He's from Omaha North. There's a possibility he'll commit. He got an offer as well. He didn't have a Power 5 offer. He is from Omaha North, though, so Nebraska is, I think, a little bit more aware of him. We'll see what he does, and potentially he could announce for Nebraska. That'd be another defensive back in the class. Caleb Benning is a name to watch, the Omaha West Side safety. One of the better players in the state. Really just a dynamic football player on the field. Can play offense, defense, really good return guy, good on special teams, just good in all 3 phases. He's going to go down to Nebraska for an official visit. I think Nebraska likes him quite a bit. If Jones and Benning are in, that could be the totality of the defensive back class. I think that would give them 6, with maybe Prude moving down to linebacker, maybe being a 5. But I think that might be the totality of it. I think those 2 guys, if they get in, I think Nebraska might be feeling like they're in really good shape at those two positions. They don't have, I don't think they're going to get an elite edge rusher this weekend or defensive lineman. And like I said, those are hard positions to recruit. Sometimes you've got to take a chance on a guy and you kind of let him develop. I think that's where McGahee, for example, is going to be. It's just going to take them a little bit of time to get those guys in here and kind of get them the sense of comfort about coming to Nebraska, because again, they can go so many places. The other position that's very true that is tight end. If you're a great tight end, you can go almost anywhere now because everybody's looking for tight ends, and quarterback. I mean, that's another position where you can get a ton of offers because everybody's looking for them. The position where that's also true is that defensive tackle and edge rusher spot. There's some kids there that maybe aren't quite as polished, for example, as a Callan Barta is at corner, but they get offers because they're harder to find. And so Nebraska's going to have to, they're going to have to battle it out a little bit at edge rusher in order to get the players that they want. Okay, that is our update for this week. Husker fans, thanks for watching.